When you're surrounded on all sides by civilization and modern technology, it's easy to believe that this is what the world is like today. That the days of discovery are over and that the concrete jungle has replaced the lush, forested land. While this may be true for a good bit of the world, there is still so many remote places on this planet that are covered in dense vegetation and keep unknown species and habitats hidden. Hundreds of animals are discovered each year, and it's said that we only know about 10% of the species on this planet. Most of these unknown species are insects or other small organisms, but it isn't impossible that there are some large creatures that may exist outside the knowledge of humanity. Today, we explore that idea and cover the rumors of a creature that beat extinction. We are traveling to Congo, deep into the rainforests of Africa, and searching for a living dinosaur. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Was that? Oh, nice. Why Law and Order?
I don't know. It was just the first thing that came to my head with the cold open. It's like, it's my blah, blah, blah. And then I was thinking of dun dun. I was thinking about doing that. I was like, no, let's go with the more suave way.
I guess maybe I should start putting the intro music after the cold open.
Yeah.
Well, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Legends and Loggers. My name is Zac Wohlstein, and I'm an outdoor television producer, and I'm joined by my co-host and brother,
Parker Wohlstein, and I'm a forester and wildlife biologist.
Nice. Now I want to start off this episode by saying that I am a huge dinosaur guy, and I always tell people that I never grew out of my dinosaur phase. So covering this topic is something that I've been really looking forward to, and when it comes to dinosaurs not having gone extinct or coming back from extinction, I recognize that it's likely impossible, but I like to fall into the mindset of Mulder, and I want to believe. So I am holding on to that belief today with today's topic, but before we move into that, Fuzz, what you drinking?
Today I've got from Abita, True Wit. I had a different beer picked out, but we couldn't get it at the time. We ran out of time and couldn't get it. So my lovely wife, getting off of work early, went to the store, and she picked this up. And my other beer, had no correlation to dinosaurs or Africa or anything. I was just like, I don't know what to get. So I was going to grab something random. But luckily that didn't work out because she came home with this and she said, I got this one. Quoth the Nicole, I got this one for you because it has a big sun like all those Africa documentaries have.
Oh, nice.
I was like, all right, fair enough.
See, that's my favorite. Whenever we make like just the slightest connection to try and make it work.
Yeah, this is a Belgian-style wheat beer with orange peel and coriander.
Ooh. Well, I like the, what is it called? The Blue Moon. That's another orange peel beer, right?
No, you put orange in it.
Ah. No, it has some sort of citrus in it.
Yeah, it does a little bit.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
So I could not find, it broke my heart, but I could not find anything dinosaur related. Oh, I forgot to point this out. I got my dinosaur skull gifted to me for my birthday by my wife. It's not an actual dinosaur skull, but it's a replica of a T-Rex skull. But it's pretty big as far as like replicas go.
As far as T-Rexes go, pretty big.
Yeah, as far as T-Rexes go. It's bigger than they are, actually.
Just gaslight all the viewers about the size of T-Rexes.
Did you guys know that T-Rexes are actually the size of mice?
Yeah.
So I could not find anything dinosaur related. It breaks my heart. So I went with something different. I'm not a fan of IPAs, and so I got a hazy IPA. I figured it'd be more entertaining if I got something I wouldn't like.
Sweet.
And this one's brewed with cactus water. It sounds terrible.
Huh.
It's called Shiner Tex Hex by Shiner. The same company makes Shiner Bock. So I love Shiner Bock, but I'm not sure I'm gonna like this one. It says Desert Mirage Hazy IPA, and it's got a little cowgirl on it on a horse. So that's cool.
So it's an IPA, which you hate. It's got a horse, which we both hate.
Yeah.
There's something else in there that wasn't good. But we'll see about
cactus water.
I'm not sure about that. Never had cactus water. I've eaten cactus fruit from a prickly pear. Tastes like a kiwi. Not worth getting it, by the way. Wear gloves if you do.
Yeah.
At the nature sanctuary I worked at once, we had a bunch of prickly pears out front, which is odd
What?
because it was in
At River Road?
Kentucky. Yeah, yeah,
Huh.
yeah. There's a bunch out there, and they
Well, that's totally out of place.
no, we've got
No?
prickly pears in Kentucky.
Well, how about that?
Yeah. Anyway, they're reliably made fruit, and I was like, well, it's edible to humans. I want to try it. They don't have spines, but they have what are called trichomes, which are like those tiny, almost invisible hairs, and those are on the fruit too. So I like cut it open, but they're just like stabbing my fingers. Fruit tasted great. It tastes like kiwi. It was fantastic, but not.
Well, at least the fruit was good.
Just buy a kiwi. Just buy a kiwi.
Learn from Parker.
Yeah. Anyway, let's crack them and stack them.
All right.
And every time I do this, I'm trying not to spill all over the floor. There we go. Let's get your reaction first.
It's not terrible,
Mm.
but I definitely wouldn't buy it again.
Solid Belgian. We'll
Nice.
take it.
Belgians are good.
We'll take it.
Water featuring juicy, resinous strata hops. I swear I can read, guys. I'm not stupid, I swear.
I'm not just chugging this. There's a flavor, like the end note is something very specific, but I can't place it in my mind.
Yeah, this is
Maybe,
gross. I don't
it's
like
the coriander. I don't know. I don't typically go around eating coriander.
This is not the worst beer I've ever had, but it's not good. Anyways,
I just threw it up.
yeah. Did you really?
It was like like the ones where like you don't really throw up in your mouth, but it's just like a little.
Yeah. And I thought mine was bad.
This has been Legends and Loggers.
Yeah. Okay, so like I touched on earlier, today we are covering the potential living dinosaur called I wrote down a pronunciation because I don't want to get it wrong. Mokele Mbembe. Believe that's how it's pronounced. It might be Mokele Mbembe, something like that, but I'll try my best.
Mokele Mbembe.
I think you got it. So yeah, the Mokele Mbembe, which means the one who stops the flow of rivers. Which is freaking rad, right? That's such a cool name. That's sick.
Band name.
Yeah, right? The one who stops the flow of rivers.
That's an album.
That's
right
awesome.
there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So the Mokele Mbembe is said to live deep in the jungle of Central Africa, somewhere between Congo, Cameroon, and Gabon, though the majority of the reports come from Congo. The Democratic Republic of Congo is the second largest country in Africa and the 11th largest in the world, and is home to a good portion of the second largest rainforest in the world, the Congolian rainforest. Now, this rainforest spans across 500 million acres, and that is huge.
Daggone.
Like, that is insane. I can't even fathom how big that is, right? Now, so that's 500 million acres of pure, unadulterated tropical forest, too. It's not just like a large country or whatnot. That's just this forest. Now, just to put that into perspective, let's take a look at the largest state in America. Alaska is 425 million acres. Alaska is giant. And if you guys have been to Alaska, it's huge. It takes so long to drive across it. But yet all of Alaska fits inside of this rainforest with plenty of space to spare. That is
what?
wild. This rainforest is so big, you can place all of Alaska on the inside, and there's still space.
How does nobody know this? Why isn't everybody talking about this all the time?
I was freaking out about this as I was researching it. I had no idea it was so large. I didn't even know there was a rainforest there.
For context, the Amazon rainforest. What?
What's Amazon? How big is it?
1.6 billion acres.
How is that even possible?
Hold on,
crazy.
This entire episode is derailed. How many?
Yeah, we're just doing the size of places now.
How many acres is the Earth? 126 billion.
Okay. I'm not good enough at math to
Wow.
break that down, but
Neither am I, but wow, the Earth is bigger than I thought.
right, the Earth is so freaking big, dude.
Wow.
And like what blows my mind too is that there's these places that's like totally uninhabited that are huge.
What about like people going in for the bush trade?
Well, I don't know about that, but so to go back to the Congolian rainforest, so absolutely huge, fits all of Alaska. That's freaking awesome. The Congo River that flows through this rainforest is the second longest river in Africa at a length of 2,920 miles. And for a little bit of perspective, if you were to drive from New York City to San Francisco, East Coast to West Coast of America, that would be about 3,000 miles. This river is barely shorter than the length of the entire continental U.S. That's
Gum.
Yeah, and it doesn't even stop there. This river is crazy deep. Some of the stretches of the river are as deep as 722 feet. Like
I think I remember hearing that somewhere. Like there was a crazy deep river in Africa.
that blew my mind, dude.
What is
you could
happening
stack
over there?
the Statue of Liberty on top of itself. You know, you could be the Statue of Liberty on top of itself, and there would still be space above. Like it would still be totally submerged.
Dude, what is happening in Africa?
I know, it's huge. It is unbelievably big.
The Mississippi
Now-
River is only 200 feet.
Rookie numbers.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so the Congolian rainforest is also home to a large number of flora and fauna, including more than 10,000 species of plants and over 10,000 species of animals. And those are just the ones that we know of. The Congolese government officials say 80% of a 66,000 square kilometer region of this rainforest is still uncharted.
Wow.
That's so much.
That's a lot of land.
That's a lot of land that we have no idea what's in there.
I'm fixing.
We could be
to move
finding
there.
new creatures every day in there. Anyways, sorry to derail the podcast so hard. I just got so blown away by the sheer scale of this.
That is insane.
Yeah, it is.
Why is every documentary not just constantly talking about that?
Right? Like, how is there not so much? Like, I can't believe I never learned this until I was learned about this creature.
Man, if Discovery made a thing where it was just all these comparisons of this river,
Yeah.
this rainforest, there would be guys like you and me, just some
What?
20 something year olds that are obsessed with dumb stuff, and
Yeah.
geography. They're just like, that's crazy. And they're like hitting their wives like, look, it's 2 statues of liberties deep.
You could put 3 school buses. What?
Yeah, I mean, I'd sit there and watch it,
Oh, I absolutely would too.
and I'd make it my wife's problem.
So no, we can move on from talking about this, but all this is mainly to say that this region, this rainforest, is just ginormous. And if there was ever a habitat for hiding a dinosaur, well, that's just about perfect, right?
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Based on the descriptions of this creature, it sounds like it would be a sauropod, which is a quadrupedal herbivore dinosaur with long necks and long tails. Examples from this subgroup of dinosaurs would be Diplodocus, Brachiosaurus, Apatosaurus, though most accounts would say this is more similar to the Apatosaurus, so we'll be drawing most of our comparisons to that dinosaur.
And Littlefoot.
Yeah, Littlefoot, also. The Vegisaurus from Jurassic Park.
That's the scientific name.
The scientific term, yes. Now, by the end of the Cretaceous period, sauropods lived all over the world, including areas on the African continent. The animal is described as having a long neck, a long tail, and rounded-shaped tracks with 3 claws. Now, this is something that doesn't necessarily fall in line with some of the other depictions of sauropods, because if you look at sauropod footprints, they don't have like full-on claws. They have like, markings of nails, but I don't know if I would go as far as to say claws. So I'm not too sure what exactly that means. I just wanted to draw attention to that. Now, as for the size of the animal, it is said to be between the size of hippopotamus and an elephant, which is between 16 to 32 feet in length, with about a 5 to 10 foot long neck and tail.
You're telling me that guy can stop the flow of a river? Yeah, right.
That's pretty small, right?
Yeah, right.
I was surprised to hear that as well. Like they're describing something that stops the flow of the 722-foot deep river. I thought it was going to be something absolutely ginormous.
Yeah, like Godzilla size.
Yeah. Now, to do some more fun comparisons, this creature has been described as essentially being about the length of two cars, and that doesn't sound crazy big to me. Like two cars is, like, yeah, that's long, but like not as long as a freaking brachiosaurus or an apatosaurus, you know?
A giraffe is taller than this thing. Mokele got a lot less scary. All of a
Yeah,
sudden.
right.
So you're saying it's an herbivore only the size between a hippo and an elephant. Okay.
Yeah. Which already off the bat, not as cool as what it was a couple minutes ago. But it's actually pretty much dead on the size of an African elephant. Though some of the reports coming in from Cameroon have claimed the beast to be about 75 feet in length, and that report falls more in line with the average length of an adult apatosaurus, which measures to be about like 76 feet in length. And that is a lot cooler.
Cameroon's feeding them right.
Yeah, exactly.
Over there in the Congo, they got some bad herbs or something.
Yeah.
Them Cameroon ones are eating creatine.
They're eating their spinach, all right.
Spinach and creatine, they're jacked.
Yeah. Now, in some accounts, it says that these creatures have a frill on the back of their head, similar to like that little fan that you see on the top of a rooster's head. And the skin is mainly described as being a reddish-brown color, but ranges somewhere between gray and brown. As for sightings, they seem to be more like word-of-mouth rumors than full-on reports like what you get with some of the other cryptids like Bigfoot and Mothman. But reported sightings go as far back as 1776, where a French missionary claimed to have seen a large claw-shaped footprint, though there was no sighting of the creature itself. Now, this is actually a piece of evidence that pops up from time to time, even up until recently. Like,
What?
in the early 2000s, there were some photographs taken of giant tracks that were 3 feet in diameter. Now, this size falls in line with the size of many other sauropod dinosaurs, so it checks out as being potentially a dinosaur. However, a large elephant's footprint can apparently get as big as 4.4 feet in diameter.
Wow.
We'll talk about more about that in a second.
I would like to go back. What does a claw-shaped footprint look like?
Yeah, does that mean it's like the shape of like,
Yeah, is it like a J-hook?
cat claw type thing? Yeah.
Was it just pierced into the ground, or was it?
Or was it a footprint that had claws, or was this like the whole foot was just the shape of
like
a C?
if this hand was the ground, was it like that? Was it like that? You know what does a claw-shaped footprint mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that was some sort of weird translation error in trying to,
That's
translate that from French.
That's why you don't trust the French.
Absolutely, F and not. But
And don't do a war with them.
never. Why would you? Why would? Okay. But before we move on from this, one other thing that stood out to me: I had no idea that elephants' feet could be 4.4 feet in diameter. Like,
I mean,
that seems.
It's easier
huge.
if it's round, or is it harder if it's round? I don't know.
I think it's harder if it's round, because then it's like a full on circle. It's not like a long. I don't know. I guess a 4 foot long foot would be just insane, but.
Fun fact: elephants' locomotion, their legs are called columnar, and their method of locomotion is called graviportal.
What? They use portals?
Yup, gravity portals.
Oh my god.
That's how they walk.
That's a Legends and Loggers exclusive, fellas.
According to biologists, they use gravity portals to walk.
Amazing.
Yeah. Truly, I mean, they can paint with their trunk. They can use portals. What can't they do? They can't do your taxes.
They can ride unicycles, supposedly.
Therefore, yeah, they can't ride a bicycle. Therefore, we should shoot them for their ivory.
Unless you want elephants portaling into your home, you better shoot them now.
Mm-hmm. Get them tusks out.
Yeah.
The tusks make the portal. Better get them to the.
You guys want to be here on portals? Get some freaking ivory.
Why do you think the Chinese want them so bad?
Yeah.
Are y'all dumb? Read a book.
Yeah, crack a book. In 1909, an explorer named Lieutenant Paul Gratz wrote about a creature called the Nasanga. This is a creature found in the legends of the natives living in the area, and this account is the first written account that likens the creature to a dinosaur. And following this report, it's been widely accepted that the Mokele Mbembe is some sort of dinosaur. Around that same time, Karl Hagenbach, a renowned German big game hunter and zoologist, claimed that he had heard about a beast as well. In his autobiography, Beasts and Men, cool name, Hagenbach...
What a guy.
What?
What a guy.
Yeah, sounds like a cool guy.
I'm hoping he's like one of those old-timey, like straight up just like 1910 kind of Teddy
He's got like the
Roosevelt.
flat hat and all that.
Yeah.
He's wearing like full canvas,
Today I go to the Congo to collect specimens. Quick! That's the rarest bird in the world. Bast! Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we've got it. Here you go, native. Put that back on the ship. We're sending it to London.
Yeah.
This was the last of its kind.
Yeah.
Excellent. It'll go great in the London Museum.
Yes, a rarity. Oh, God, that's hilarious. In his biography, Beasts and Men, Hagenbach wrote that he was told about a huge monster that was half elephant and half dragon, that was living in the depths of the great swamps in the interior of Rhodesia. This is a unrecognized state that once occupied the territory, which is now today Zimbabwe. Now, as we know, Zimbabwe is not Congo, but it ties in. We'll talk about that in a second. He claimed that there are drawings of this creature in Central African caves and that all depictions were akin to the Brontosaurus. Now, Hans Schrumbrackerd, oh God, it's this German name, I just can't, fellas, I'm sorry. One of Hagenbach's sources stated that the lack of hippos on Lake Bangweulu was due to a large animal that killed hippos. Which hippos are some giant freaking animals, so if something's out there killing hippos, that has to be something just gargantuan, you know?
Yeah, that's got to be pretty big.
Yeah. Now,
they're kind of one of those animals that nothing really messes with.
No one messes with a hippo. Yeah, they're scary.
Like, Nile crocodiles are pretty big crocodiles, but they don't mess with them.
Yeah, because they want to live.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, somebody out there might be thinking, but Zachary, you said the sauropods are very thorthous. Why are they trying to kill hippos?
And that's exactly how y'all sound.
Yeah. Hippos are made of meat, not vegetables. Yes, that is true that these creatures are said to be herbivores, but being a herbivore does not equate to being a docile creature that won't attack something invading its territory. Elephants are herbivores, but they're incredibly dangerous, and being that massive, they can do some real freaking damage.
I will also say another wildlife fact. Herbivory and carnivory are a spectrum.
Yeah.
Like it's not what you heard as a kid where it's like, oh, herbivores eat plants, carnivores. It's not like that. What that is hyper carnivory or hyper herbivory. Everything else besides like stuff that's specifically made to do that, like cows per se, they're pretty hyper herbivorous, and then like tigers are hyper carnivorous. But stuff like even deer, if they see a baby bird like that's like falling out of its nest, they'll eat it. They'll straight up, and their teeth aren't made for it, so it's a mess. You know, like it's not a clean kill.
It looks gnarly.
Like they don't have teeth made for killing, but if they grab something, they're gonna try and eat it. So it's
in
a
that same
gnarly
vein,
scene. They'll eat snakes.
I've
seen deer eat snakes.
Jesus Christ!
Just cause,
man. But in that same vein, like hippos are technically herbivores. But if you think a hippo won't eat a freaking like hyena or something nearby, whatever, just it can get its teeth on, it's going to.
I don't know if they do or not. I don't know.
They do.
About hippos.
I did research on it.
They eat them.
They will eat carcasses of. They'll eat the carcasses of animals if there's like no other food around.
The most scary part about hippos is that they feed at night. So you can be like, oh, the hippos are in the water. They stay in the water.
And you can't see it.
Yeah, but then you're just out there in the dark, and next thing you know, there's this like perfectly camouflaged to African nighttime, just ginormous hippo right in front of you. Yeah, they scare me.
Yeah. Before we move away from Hagenbach, here's an excerpt on the subject from his book. Fuzz, care to throw on a turn of the century accent and do a little dramatic reading for us?
Yeah, I need my gun. I need my
There you
gun.
go.
I need my gun and my hat.
Yeah.
I am almost convinced that some such reptile must still be in existence. At great expense, therefore, I sent out an expedition to find the monster. I don't know what the accent has changed to.
No, that's great so far.
But unfortunately, they were compelled to return home without having proved anything, either one way or the other.
Beautiful.
So I shot many a rarity just to have the local tribesmen put it back on the boat, where we may or may not taxidermize it.
And so I took aim at everything with legs and blasted.
And therefore I was knighted. Sir Reginald D. Poppycock.
He's German too. The Brits were so proud. They knighted me anyway.
At that time, I think Germany had a king, so
Do they knight people?
I don't know. They do a lot worse to people.
I mean, there were German knights, right?
Yeah.
Do we need to read a book?
I know that they had officers, that's for sure.
Yep. I know they had a chancellor, that's for sure.
Yep.
Now, moving forward a few years, we join up with another German, an officer by the name of Ludwig Freyr von Stein zu Lausnitz.
Lausnitz.
I tried my best there, but because my source calls him only by the name of Stein, and after his introduction, I will do the same. Both because that's what they did, and for my own sanity, because I cannot say that name again.
Ludwig Freiherr von Stein Lausnitz.
Oh my god, that is a beast of a name.
I love it.
Now, Stein's account is the one that really solidified Mokele Mbembe's legend as we know it today, and even was the one who first publicized the name Mokele Mbembe. His report states that the beast lives in the Congo, specifically around Likuala? Likuala?
Likuala.
Jesus Christ. I have a hard time with pronunciations, and for that I apologize, everyone. But and he describes it as being roughly the size of an elephant or a hippo at its smallest. He also described its neck as being long and flexible, and said that there are some instances that people say this creature had a horn. Lastly, he says that this Mokele Mbembe is very aggressive and will destroy any canoes that approach it. It does so by tipping over the vessels and then biting and lashing out with its tail. So, it's a real jerk if you're near it.
Wait, so it's basically a water creature?
Yeah, in all accounts, it mainly hangs out by like lakes, rivers, like swamp areas. It's usually near the water. It doesn't it's not like a swimming creature and whatnot, at least from what I've gathered, but it's always around the water.
It's kind of weird how many of these creatures of ours are water dwellers.
People like water.
Animals like water.
Animals like water.
Animals love destroying boats and getting people.
Love boats, but no. Animals love water, hate boats.
Yeah, love killing.
Love killing. Just love killing. So, now Adam Davies, a man who travels the world in search of undocumented species, has gone to Africa twice in search of the Mokele Mbembe. He has said, when you put it to the people, is this a real creature? They become quite affronted, and they consistently came out with physical descriptions. So at the very least, the creature is real to the local people, and they have consistent descriptions that largely describe the same creature. Now, since the 1900s, there have been over 50 expeditions in search of the Mokele Mbembe, none of them returning with any hard evidence aside from large footprints and very blurry, just inconclusive photographs. And that brings us up until today. There were a few more excursions to the Congo in search of this living dinosaur, but none of them had any more to add than what we've already covered. But before we get into potential explanations and whatnot, what are your thoughts on the legend of the Mokele Mbembe so far, Parker?
I love it. I think it's really fun, and one of my favorite books is The Lost World, not the Jurassic Park one, but like Doyle's book. It's one of my favorites. It's basically like expedition down to uh, basically the Amazon deep there in South America, because this one professor was like, I saw dinosaurs around there in this on this big plateau, and the other professor's like, no, you didn't, quit lying. And then this journalist goes because he wants to prove to this chick that he's brave. Great book, fun read.
I think you and I watched like the stop motion movie at Grandma's one time. I don't know if you remember that. It was on TV once.
Yeah, and
It was pretty cool.
there was another book that was like that I really enjoyed that I can't find anymore. It might have been like Land of the Lost, but not the one with David McBride. It was like
Oh yeah, not the not William, Will Ferrell one.
yeah, there's some movie where they go underneath of the water in a submarine and pop back up on the other side, and they're like in this big dome that still has dinosaurs. Man, I can't remember what that was, but it was.
I think you're right. I think it is Land of the Lost.
Oh, cool. But yeah, I love all those books.
Right. The whole concept of dinosaurs still being alive is so freaking cool.
Yeah, especially like these old timey accounts.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if it's the books remind me of stuff like this, or this reminds me of the books. Either way, just got a special place in my heart.
Absolutely.
All those old time explorer things.
And it's so much cooler when it's like that old timey explorer type deal. Like one of my favorite movies of all time is that Peter Jackson King Kong movie, that 2005 one. And like that's exactly what it is. It's literally what you were just describing. It's explorers. In this case, they're trying to make a movie, but it's explorers going to an unknown world that still has dinosaurs, unknown creatures, giant animals. It's so cool.
Yeah, I love that whole vibe.
Yeah, exactly. It's just nice. It is cool. Now, all right. So moving right along. One article from Life Science says that the origin of this cryptid can be directly traced back to that 1909 book, Beasts and Men. You know, our boy Hagenbach. Now, because this book was published back when paleontology was still a fresh new area within the scientific community, and the discovery of dinosaur bones was still a popular topic in national news, some believe that in an attempt to gain some extra publicity, Hagenbach stated in his book that sauropods might still be alive within Africa. Though he offered no evidence, aside from legends and rumors, due to the popularity of dinosaurs at the time, this spread like wildfire. Even the Washington Post published a story the following year titled, Brontosaurus Still Lives.
That's insane to me that somebody would make up an encounter with a strange creature in order to make money. Have you ever heard of something like that?
Absolutely not.
That's insane.
Never.
I mean, why would anybody lie to get money and be famous? Huh.
I can't think of a single person who would do that. Okay, so now, in my personal opinion, I do believe that this would account for the spread of the legend and explains why this creature living in the remote jungles of Africa could become such a popular topic in America today. But that being said, I don't believe that this book can take credit for starting this legend as a whole. The people native to the area already had many reports and stories of this creature, and also we still have those reports from people earlier than that, like that French missionary from 1776, that date well before that book was ever published.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, how likely is it that a dinosaur could have survived the extinction event? Before we answer that, let's talk a little bit about what killed the dinosaurs, the event known as the KT extinction. Now, this event was sudden and absolutely catastrophic. The most commonly accepted theory says that an asteroid between 6 and 9 miles wide.
An asteroid between 6 to 9 miles wide.
Wide. All right.
Let's make
most
this
commonly
word wide.
Yeah, let's get this nice and wide. So, the most commonly accepted theory says that an asteroid between 6 and 9 miles wide struck the beach. See, this is why I need a
struck the arch. I was out there looking. I seen it come down and strike the arch.
Oh god. We'll have to do
Yucatan
like a bloopers of
gone.
this one. I said, "Honey, the Yucatan's on fire. You won't believe it."
Yucatan's gone. It struck the urch. It had an urch it needed to scourge.
I said, "Woman, it's hell on earth." Okay. The most commonly accepted theory says that an asteroid between 6 and 9 miles wide struck the Earth on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, in an impact that released more than 1 billion times the destructive energy of the atomic bombing on both Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined. The result of this was a huge explosion and a crater roughly 110 miles across. This then triggered the KT extinction event by ejecting a huge quantity of rock debris into the atmosphere, enshrouding the Earth in darkness for several months or longer. With no sunlight able to penetrate this global dust cloud, photosynthesis ceased, resulting in the death of a crazy amount of plants and the disruption of the food chain. Herbivores that survived the initial impact would have starved once these plants began to die, especially herbivores like sauropods, which due to their massive size require a huge amount of vegetation every day just in order to live. Now, once herbivores began to die off, predators soon followed after, and soon after that, no terrestrial animal larger than a few pounds could live. Somewhere between 75 and 80% of all species went extinct as a result of this. So with this extinction in mind, could a dinosaur in a very remote area have survived this? Probably not.
No, that seems
Almost certainly not.
that
Honestly.
seems pretty bad.
I don't like to say that anything is impossible. But god dang, that seems highly unlikely.
Yeah, basically everything that survived was a rat. Was an insect
Yeah.
or a rat.
Yeah, exactly. It was like small mammals, small reptiles,
Fish.
and birds, because birds were able to like fly from spot to spot and still go find food where it may be. But pretty much anything larger than a small mammal, gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably
sucks, dude.
not.
That's so sad.
Unless they're in one of those. No. I was going to say if they're in a cave, then I was like, one, how would sauropods fit in most caves? Two,
Unless they were growing
there's
their own
nothing
fungus
to
in a cave.
eat. Yeah. Unless they were mushroom farmers down in a cave. Yeah, probably not that likely.
It's like Dinotopia, like type dinosaurs that are like living in caves, have their own little society.
I like how I'm giving all these wildlife facts, and then 2 seconds later, I'm like, why didn't the giant sauropod just go down in a cave?
Those idiots didn't think of going into a cave. Shoot.
Oh, well. It's been a day.
All right, but there is another potential prehistoric explanation for what the Mokele Mbembe may be. Okay, this is a doozy of a word. Paraceratherium. What was it?
Paraceratherium.
Paraceratherium. There we go. Thank you, Fuzz.
Team
Was a
Mammal
relative-
Gang. Prehistoric
Yeah.
mammal. Comment down below if you're Team Dinosaur or Team Prehistoric Mammals.
We're gonna start a
Prehistoric
feud.
mammals all the way.
You're wearing a crowbar shirt.
Yeah, I know, but you get the point. We're going to make t-shirts.
Yeah,
I'm going to make
mammals
a
versus
Team Mammal
dinosaurs.
t-shirt, and Zach's going to make himself a Team Dino.
It's gonna be like the prehistory SmackDown.
I just want to say who's still alive today. Yeah, I cried. about it.
Okay, yeah. What about birds? Birds are dinosaurs, technically. That's-
No, don't even get into all that.
All right. Okay, that's an episode for a
Shut
later
up.
day.
You can't just claim birds. I'm going to claim fish, too.
You're claiming mammals, dog. I can absolutely claim birds.
No, birds aren't dinosaurs. That's why we call them birds and not dinosaurs.
Because they came from dinosaurs. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, you came from the idiot tree.
Okay.
Keep on with the episode. It's Paraceratherium. Learn how to read.
Paraceratherium. It's a long word, fellas. I don't know if you guys have seen this word before, but it's very long. Anyways, so the Paraceratherium was a relative of the rhinoceros that lived millions of years ago after the dinosaurs and millions of years before humans. They had large bodies, long necks, and they were the largest land mammals to ever live. Now, some specimens may have weighed over 20 tons, and to put that in perspective, a large male African elephant weighs around 6 or 7 tons. So, it's freaking huge.
They're basically like you mix an African elephant with a giraffe and then make it even bigger.
Yeah.
Taller.
You should look up a picture. They're
larger.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
And, based off of the descriptions and whatnot, if it was, this giant creature people make it out to be, this I could see being a solid potential explanation for what the Mokele Mbembe is. Like maybe it was one of these guys that stuck around and just happened to survive past the Ice Age.
Hmm.
Now, that being said, the Paraceratherium went extinct a long time ago, and it is not known to have lived in Africa. Though seeing as rhinos live in Africa, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility that there is some sort of rhino relative that is yet to be discovered. Especially with, as we talked about earlier, there's still so much land within the Congolian rainforest that has not been charted at all. Now, those are the cooler explanations, but another potential and lame explanation is that it's actually just a misidentified elephant or rhino. But that's no fun, so I don't even want to humor that. So what are your thoughts, Fuzz? What do you think of this creature? Do you think it could potentially be real? If it is real, do you think it's a dinosaur? Do you think it's a Paraceratherium? What do you think?
Everything kind of points to not really. I mean, like the things about the local people saying stuff about it, that kind of has some credence. But then again, there's a bunch of folks just coming in your land and shooting stuff and mining gold and doing all that. It's like the Scooby Doo situation, you know? Like,
Yeah.
because during this time,
Oh, you don't want this land. There's a freaking dinosaur in there.
yeah, like at the time, like those explorers were just like, oh, there's silver here, gold there. Like they were just taking everything out. So I mean,
Pillaging left and right.
kind of makes sense to be like, really? Because there's a really scary dinosaur in there, and they're like, huh?
Oh, you're gonna float your boat down that river? It'll flip it over. It'll bite you.
Yeah, they're like, oh, was that the river you're going to use to move gold? And they're like, why, yes, it was. I wouldn't. Why not?
Yeah.
Because of the dinosaur.
Yeah.
So I think it might be a Scooby-Doo thing. I would like for it to be true, but
I want more than anything in this world for it to be real. That'd be so freaking awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, all we have is some footprints that they just so happen to look very much like elephant footprints.
Yes, very much like
or rhino
footprints.
even. So
yeah,
I don't know.
And also, like that one Life Science article mentioned, it really did gain popularity whenever dinosaurs started to become popular, which makes sense in the sense that like people would not know to compare it to a dinosaur until dinosaurs became popular, because otherwise you don't know what you're like. If you don't even know the creature exists, how are you going to quantify it as being like something else? But it does make sense that this creature would skyrocket in popularity whenever people that were making papers about dinosaurs were becoming very popular. So
yeah,
it does check out in that regard. But I do want to reiterate, both the Amazon rainforest and this Congolian river, this Congolian rainforest, are unbelievably giant. I mean, like, I can't even wrap my head around how big it is and how much of that is just unadulterated, pure jungle. Like, no one has ever stepped foot in it. Or maybe they have. Frick, we don't know.
If you leave us a 5-star review, not only will we send you a drawing, and you leave a 5-star review and you join our Patreon, which we don't have.
We don't
so
have Patreon.
It'll be really hard for you. But if you leave a 5-star review and you join the Patreon that doesn't
if you mail us $5,
yeah. If you leave a 5-star review, send us $5 in the mail, and join the Patreon that does not exist. So it will be hard. We will take you to a Mokele Mbembe. We will do a Congo expedition or Amazon, whichever your choice.
So it's funny you say that. Whenever I was doing my research and whatnot, there was some group of like, I don't want to say kids because they were old enough to be like young adults, but there were some essentially kids that put together a GoFundMe, like, hey, we think this thing's real. Give us $27,000 and we'll go look for it. And they did it, dude. Like
Yes.
they got $30,000, went down, and if the article I saw is correct, they not only did they not find anything, but they left early because they're like, this sucks.
Man, so they basically just got a free trip to go on a safari for like a couple days. Decided it was too buggy and too hot.
Yeah.
And they came home.
Yeah, they were supposed to go down there for 3 months, and then if I recall right, they returned like a month and a half in.
Wow. They probably pocketed a lot of cash.
Either they pocket a lot of cash, in which case more power to you. Well done, dude. But or it was like very expensive to get down there, and they're like, holy crap, like being an explorer is actually really hard. And
Now, Zach,
left.
be honest. How much did you donate?
How much? If I knew about it, honest to God, I would have. I would have thrown a crisp Jefferson their way.
All right, I'm changing the goals here. If you leave a 5-star review, you join the Patreon that doesn't exist, and you send us $30,000, then we might go on an expedition.
But now that we know how much it costs to go on the expedition, that's how much we need.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like a new car.
Yeah. And
that's cool too.
We need a Safari Jeep. I don't want to rent one or have a drive.
I want a Land Rover. If you can give me one of those Land Rovers that has like the seating on the top and bottom, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we still need to do the show, so we probably need to install like fiber out there.
Oh, yeah, sorry. If somebody can get us one of those satellite internets, that'd be great.
So crocodiles can go without eating for like months at a time. So what I would like is we have stationary crocodiles just lined up for miles, and the fiber line runs on top of them.
Oh my God!
All the way out to our camp, and we just hope that they don't move.
No. If we move, they come. You know.
Ah, yeah. We bring a goat, and we're like, "Here, look, it's your first meal in 6 months," and then they just like slow crawl towards us. Wherever we need to go.
But all right, well, yeah. So sorry for that tangent there. Please send us money, and but so in conclusion,
send us money. This is for money. This is for money and fame.
If we can't have the fame, please send us money. Come on. No,
I like how it only took 7 episodes for every single one of our outros to be the most unhinged. Just every single one we're like about to close, it just devolves into like us begging for money, me threatening the audience, just like,
you know what,
making promises. We did get our first 5-star review though, and we sent out those drawings.
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I drew me and him as salamanders, and I made.
I also sent out a drawing. I sent a goat man holding an axe to another 5-star review.
Oh, for this guy, I made it his favorite salamander species was his body, and then I said reviews. I said L&L reviews from the ravine, because that salamander likes ravines and rocks.
That's cool. Yeah.
Shout out Keeb.
And Sam.
You're our number 1 fan besides Sam and our parents.
Yeah, our parents haven't left a review yet, though. So
my in-laws.
Had they left a review though?
No.
Not number 1 then. All right. So moving on, moving right along. So in conclusion, is the Mokele Mbembe real? Probably not. It pains my heart. I want it so badly to be real, and maybe in a future episode, I don't know if it counts, but I might do it anyways because it's freaking our show. We can do whatever we want. I might talk about the potential de-extinction of dinosaurs and the company Colossal, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in actually 2 episodes from now when we talk about the living thylacine. But for now, what are we talking about next week, Mr. Fuss?
Well, I just want to say we're actually not going to do the de-extinction of dinosaurs ever as an episode because we're going to be busy doing the de-extinction of prehistoric mammals.
Oh my God! We are doing one. We are doing actually a de-extinction of mammal episode potentially.
Hear that, folks? Well, he just switched sides.
No. It's already on our schedule. We talked about this.
He just switched sides, folks.
No. We had this planned.
Speaking of mammals,
it's LNL09.
Yeah. Speaking of mammals, next week we're going to be staying in Africa, actually. Typically we like to jump around, but we're going to stay in Africa and head over to...
It's nice here.
Mainly Kenya, and we're going to talk about the Nandi bear, which I love bears. I've worked with bears. So I'm pretty excited, but I did some initial research, and sometimes it's not a bear.
What?
Sometimes it looks like a straight-up bear, and people are like, why is there a bear in Africa?
Correct me if I'm wrong. There are no bears in Africa, right?
Nope. And other times it looks like a weird kind of demon baboon thing.
What?
There was a couple of versions of it, but it was mainly those two. But the gist is there's a strange creature out there around Kenya, and people have been seeing it for a long time, and it's got a bloodlust.
Ooh, a dangerous creature. That's exciting.
Oh yeah, this thing got teeth,
Wow.
claws, fangs. It's gonna get you.
Nice. Okay.
It's gonna be hopefully a gory one.
All right, well, I mean, I haven't heard of that before, but it sounds pretty rad. So, yeah, I'm excited to learn more about it.
Yeah, gonna be a fun time. African bear time.
Yeah, it turns out Africa's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've always thought that.
Yeah, me too.
Send us $30K and we'll go on an expedition.
Yeah. Guys, we're still waiting. I've checked my email like 3 times.
I did just get an email from an African prince, though. And he said that if our viewers send the 30,000, if we send that to him, he'll send us 55 million to hold on to. And in 3 months, he's going to turn that into 100 million.
He said if we send him $30,000, he'll bring us down to Africa and have everything set up for us.
Yeah, and he said specifically, we will not decapitate you. So.
Well, now wait a second.
So he's probably not going to decapitate us.
But he might though, Parker.
We will not make you into a child soldier.
It's all these children soldiers and then us at 22 and 25. Oh god.
Shout out to Coney.
Yeah.
Coney 2012.
Yeah. Those are some dark
times.
times.
That Coney was dead before that came out?
I heard about that.
That's insane. We all got.
And like his whole campaign worked.
Yeah.
I still know about Coney 2012 to this day. I remember it, but yeah, kind of pointless.
On that note,
you know what? Well, you know what? One last thing. So the whole. Sorry, this is such a tangent, but the whole thing about Coney 2012 is that it was supposed to be like, hey, this guy needs to be known about. He's such a bad guy. People need to know his name so that people know he's a bad guy. Can you imagine, just for the sake of conversation and comparison, can you imagine if somebody said, people need to know his name, Hitler 2012, and selling all these selling and whatnot saying Hitler 2012, and everybody changes their profile picture to Hitler 2012? That's insane. What is there not a better way to do this?
I forgot about that because everybody was changing their profile pictures. It looked like they supported him in the election.
Yeah. Is there not a better way to draw attention to a horrible person?
Yeah, that wouldn't fly with Hitler. Just everybody's
Why
profile
not?
Pictures.
Yeah,
Hitler for America, 2024.
Oh god.
That was an odd time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Anyways.
Next week is about a bear baboon demon thing that likes to slaughter various people and creatures out there in East Africa.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. I love to slay things in East Africa. Anyway, it's been real. It's been fun. Stay wild.
And live life legendary.